Whether it's being stared down by a Type 1 orc on horseback, or stumbling across a corpse in a body of water with a very creepy note attached to it. Fast traveling to a new location only to watch the game stumble and stutter, or simply just being stalked by our old trusty favorite, the mud crab. This new version of The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion is somehow familiar, but entirely new. And I am curious how the general public is going to feel about this, because at its core, it is still janky and has all of the charm that the Oblivion that we all grew up loving had. All 10 of the races in the game both got upgrades and still have that quirk to them. I specifically feel like the Argonians and the Khajiit have almost overly realistic looks to them now. I can't quite put my finger on it, but both of them just look incredibly good. But I like all the different options and possibilities here. We've already been seeing online some wild looking characters that are coming from the character creator, and I'm so glad that they kept this. But of course, because it's 2025, we also have drama, and we have people complaining about things that I'm not so sure we really should be wasting our time with. It does seem that as far as creating a male and female character has been switched to creating a Type 1 and Type 2 body. If you want to complain about this, I guess you can. There are the usual suspects online doing so. I just don't feel like it's worth any of our time, and I think we should just let this go because there's so much to love about this game. Such as, like I'm doing on screen here, trying to figure out what the difference is between the quality and performance modes. Outside of the frames per second, I actually at times struggle, so I do believe performance mode is the way to go. Can you tell on this dock which of these two is performance and which is quality mode? I'll even put them side by side here. Let me know if you guessed correctly in the comments down below before I reveal here. I've noticed some other really nice touches in the game, like the ability to observe the models of all the different books and items within the game. The book specifically, it does seem like it's a very vanilla once-over that they took, so there's nothing particularly special here, maybe not quite the level that Bethesda usually would do, but a nice addition nonetheless. I was also kind of curious about your thoughts. What do we think about the UI? It is a blend between Oblivion and Skyrim. I think since I'm a PS5 controller user right now, I'm not sure if I'm 100% in love with the way that we navigate around the menus. I'm sure PC players won't have an issue at all. Let me know down below if this is an issue you've had so far. Of course, I feel I would be doing all of you a disservice if I did not show you that step out moment that all Bethesda titles are known for. For clarification's sake, this is on a base PS5 and quality mode right here. There is definitely something to be said about how beautiful this moment is, whether it's the sunset gleaming off the water, the butterfly fluttering around the dock, or even just the sounds of birds and nature. It is one of these experiences that even back in 2006 when I first experienced it, I was in awe, and somehow they found a way to realistically capture what my memory remembers. This is what Oblivion in 2006 felt like it looked. And so to see this game so fully well reimagined in a way that I think for a lot of us brings us right back to our childhood, Virtuous Studios, the company that made this game, has to be commended. And quickly, in real time, let's switch this back to performance mode just so you can all see what this moment looks like. I believe this is the mode most of us on PS5s will be playing. And again, just look what this looks like. This is us strolling up to the capital city. I have to imagine there is a lot of very, very happy 20, 30, and 40-year-olds out there right now who are just playing this game and their jaw is constantly on the floor. Speaking of having your jaw on the floor, I did want to show you guys really quickly the transition that happens as you first come across the first Oblivion Gate at Kvatch. Look at the way they transition the world. And then there's, of course, the Oblivion Gates themselves. Just look phenomenal in this game. I mean, look at this thing. It's just so cool looking. And on top of that, a really cool feature they now have is you can actually look through them and see what you're going to warp into. And this works in reverse as well. Another thing that I just needed to point out about the game is the new lip syncing technology that they were talking about during the reveal really does shine through here. But it does have like this weird double-edged sword where it looks really good, but it also looks very awkward awkward and creepy, which again, maybe at this point it's just falling back on old ways, but it just kind of fits with the whole jank of Oblivion in general. It's something that you'll definitely notice. By the way, because I'm a nerd, I just think it's so cool that you can actually physically see them turning the pages. I know they've had this in past games, but it feels so much more realistic here, and they've given it enough time where it actually feels like they've probably read the page between page flips. Just something I noticed that's really neat. Speaking of something that's really neat, I did notice that a lot of the magic descriptions don't entirely show you what they do right on the magic menu, and so there is a massive tutorial system built into the UI itself. It has its own section. I think it's very, very well laid out. However, it is hidden technically, so I do think they could have probably unified this and put some of this into the magic system descriptions themselves, just to help with any confusion newer players may have. And thankfully for all the new players, as you constantly pick up new weapons and items throughout the game, the menu system, in order to look at them both on your character and separately in their own window, is really clean and well done. Just be careful, because an experience all Oblivionites have is, as you're checking out yourself and your new armor or weapon that you just got, you're of course going to be attacked by some sort of enemy. Something odd I noticed is, and I can't remember if this was in the base version of the game, I think it was, but all of the main cities in the game you can fast travel to right from the very beginning, which is, if you're new, a really neat feature. And you can actually, when you're in the Imperial City, you can fast travel from one district to the other. Especially as you're new and kind of confused at what the layouts are like, this is a really beneficial and helpful feature. And something to keep in mind while you're fast traveling to get to certain spots on the map, shops in this game are closed at night. Another really important feature that is still in the game, you can quickly fast forward time. A literal time-saving feature, if you will. Anybody else notice the weird highlight that they do whenever you go to click on and start talking to an NPC? Or the slightly odd way that items from the world are removed when you pick them up? I don't know if it just is an unfinished animation, they didn't want to do a different animation for every single item, it just feels a little weird. I can also imagine that the fact that there is still loading in between areas in this game is going to upset some people. However, it is much quicker than it used to be. And then as far as combat goes, I think it feels completely fine. I actually love that there's a little weight to the system now. Though I will say, I don't know if it's just me, the aiming mechanic in first person when using magic feels like I miss a lot more than I remember I used to. It's probably just me being rusty and I'll get better, but I'm kind of curious if other people have felt this. I'm actually going to play around with the aim assist settings on console to see if maybe this helps alleviate some of my issues with this, or if it is just a matter of over time I get used to it. But with that, that wraps up this video, so I guess I just have to ask, how you guys all feeling about the game so far? What is it you like better than the original? What don't you like better than the original? And of course, what are you looking forward to most experience in Oblivion? Is this a first time run through for you, or are you specifically going to check out one certain thing again? And I'll leave you with the walkout moment one more time.